Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is Ten of Arrows and Instruction. And I'm meditating on this card with what's transpired here in the last week. It's just telling me that two things. One, you're gonna laugh at, okay, and the other, you might not laugh at so much. The one that you're gonna laugh at is, here you've got this new relationship going on with all this power and this nurturing and this creative energy, and you're being fulfilled, right? That's what we talked about yesterday, that Three of Bows, fulfillment. For those of you that have this new relationship, it's time to train your person. Right? I mean, you've won him, won her, now you got to train them to what you want them to be, right? I laugh at that. If people are meant to be together, going to be together no matter what. You don't have to train them. Everybody's going to learn to adapt. But on the tarot side of this, tens are all about completion. So, this could be a completion of what's transpired here within the last 6, 7, 8 days. That thought process of, this is how I want to be. This is how I want to be fulfilled, And yesterday you were fulfilled and you're like, okay, I'm done. I know what I need to do to keep the mood that I have, the happiness that I have in place. And, it's time to move forward. And when I put this card down, and I'll take a picture and I'll show you, okay, this card is also pointing away from everything. And as you notice within the cards, the Queen of Bows, the Seer, the Green Man, the Three of Bows, even though you can't see their eyes, even the Two of Vessels, the attraction, they're all looking at you. All right. And with this card, it's actually looking away. All right. It's actually looking away from everything. So that's telling me that not only is it a completion, but it's, the cycle's completed, the journey's completed. All right, it's time to move forward. You've done everything you've had to do with that arrow logic reasoning energy. That's what the arrows stand for. Okay, and with that being a completion of that, it's time to move forward. All right, it's time to get back to thinking about other things that are in your life. All right, things that are going to keep you fulfilled. All right, you've captured the first one, which is bringing somebody else into your life. All right, and realizing what it takes to be fulfilled, having that joy, having that happiness. All right, and now it's all about it's completing the cycle. All right, and instructions passing on to others a skill set, knowledge, wisdom, or even love. All right, it's passing that on to somebody else to instruct and communicate that skill in new ways to another generation. All right, and maybe that's what you need to do now. Okay, you figured it out. You've gone through this rebirth. You dipped yourself into the pool. You immersed yourself. You know what you want. All right, and you went out there and got it. Okay. And you had to communicate as well. You have the cards out there asking you how to do things. Maybe you can teach somebody else to do that. Maybe it's that teaching of the fulfillment that needs to be taught. It's just trying to be happy, And when you interact with a younger group, or you make a conscious decision to pass on wisdom and skills, that you've learned, what ends up doing is you strengthen that communication process with others. Okay, you give them the instruction of the show, tell, do, act in how you do things. Now, there's a couple, that's the way I was taught. Show. You're going to show somebody how to do it, and that could be through an operating procedure or, whatever. And normally when I was training people, they would watch that first time. And then the second time, I would go through each step as I was doing it, and they may assist me. And then the third time, they would do the steps, and I would assist them. And then the fourth time, they would do all the steps. And that's a great way of, on the job, type of learning. And I did that with everything that I trained. All right. And you may have to do that aspect too. And that's also my background, training and development, besides reading tarot cards. But the other thing is, you could do the assess, design, develop, implement, evaluate, ADDIE. There's a Lean Six Sigma term that's similar to that. I think it's called DIMAC, and I can't remember what it stands for. But those that are Lean practitioners out there, I'm sure you could probably leave them in the comments. But it's that same thought process. All right, you design something, you put it into place, you measure it. And then you assess it, and then you control it. I think that's what it stands for. Okay, and when you're able to do that, and I'll use the ADDIE, when you're able to assess something, and you design the program, and you develop it, and you implement it, the implementation stage is people are going to look at that and say that's the most important in your instruction. But actually, it's not. It's the evaluation stage that's the most important, because then you can see what's worked and what hasn't worked. All right, and when you're instructing people with this 10 of arrows, this instruction, you can train somebody on how to do stuff, and when you evaluate it, that's where you need to make a tweak. Show those little tips, show those little innuendos of that training to help make things more complete so they understand it. Now, the part of that the do portion of it is to have them do that, all right, and obviously do it safely, so it doesn't put them in jeopardy or anything like that. But part of the instruction is so they learn, all right, learn just not in how to do the job, but learn on why they're doing the job this way, especially when there's safety protocols and things of that nature. So, it's good when you step into that realm of instruction, and, because then you can make that decision to pass on that wisdom, not only to, your peers and colleagues, but to that younger generation. And in the process, you're communicating with them. You're building a relationship. Okay. And, that instruction goes both ways. They're going to remember the trainer who trained them on something. They always remember what their trainer's advice is. That's the time for you to take that opportunity now with that instruction and look at how you can train others to be fulfilled. Okay, look at, to train others in how to read the riddles from the seer, all right? Or to, look at that creative energy from the green man, okay? So, when you continue to pass down those traditional values and lore, that is left, that gift of instruction is able to teach knowledge and wisdom and open the doors to communication, to friendships, to new relationships. Okay. So, I'll take a picture of the cards, I'll put it up, I'll show you what I was talking about. But, looking at the last week, the Ace of Stones just fell off, and part of that instruction is having a great foundation. Okay. Part of that instruction is also having, a good emotional balance. To not get frustrated. If you have to go over things 2 or 3 times, do so. With good instruction, you're going to attract new students, right? You got the Queen of Bows, how do you influence those around you? If you are instructing people, all right, you have a great influence on there. You can be like that Queen of Bows, all right? You have influence on how they go forward. The other question that she asks is, where do you need to be more understanding? As that hare, that Queen of Bows, when you're the teacher, where do you need to have more understanding? Was it something, could it be something that you can do better in your teaching? Could it be something that you do better in your communication? Listen to what the student's telling you. Listen to what others are telling you how to do the job, right? The seer's out there, giving you the riddles in the water and in the earth, on the breeze, and in the fire. All right. If you're paying attention to that, there's some instruction that she gave you to pay attention to those messages. Is that something that you can pass on? All right. The green man wants you to have that kingship, that mantle of kingship as you're walking through the wildwood forest. All right. He's willing to give it to you. All right. If you are creative enough and able to abide by, the ecosystem that's out there. All right. So there's instruction there that you have to follow as well to have that green man, give you that journey. All right. And if you can pass that on to others, not only is that going to lead to your fulfillment, that's going to lead to their fulfillment. All right. And you may have led them down to that path. All right. And it's up to them to make the decision whether to go right or left. All you have to do is give the instruction on how you got to being fulfilled, how you found that balance. Let them make the choice. So there you have it, 10 of Arrows instruction. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. This is D for Spirit's Path, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care, God bless, stay safe, everybody.